Alright, should we go ahead and get started? I think we're about there. There'll be a few people that'll come in. Alright. That's Alright, so why don't we go ahead and get started? Now, so what we're going to do now is you've seen the three-circle model from 400,000 feet. Now we're going to do a deep dive. We're going to apply it. And hopefully, by the end of the session, have some big ideas. Some revolutionary ideas. Some ideas that at least two teams can share their three-circle model with teachers, mentors, and my investors. Okay. All right. So, just so you know, I have actually designed this now into. You have 6 sessions in your book. We're going to go through 5 of the 6 today. We're not going to have time to go through the 6th one. But the 5 that we're going to go through from here until the end, or the rest of the day, is going to go step by step through this three-circle model. Okay? So this should be session 2. And it should look like this. There should be the second one in your list, and it's going to say... It's going to say session 2 somewhere. Yeah, it's going to say section 1. See where it says section 1 right here? Okay. That's the one we're on right now. And so what we're going to do is I'm going to start. I have done this workshop with corporations and groups of executives all over the world. And I'm going to begin by just sharing with you some of the things I've learned as I've the mistakes that I've seen that managers have made as they've come out with new ideas, new products and new services. I want to share 3 that I've seen. I'll give you some interesting examples. Then we'll give a little test. And then we're going to move forward. And when I say move forward, is what I'm going to do is we're going to go a step-by-step process through the model. I'll give you a little bit, and then I'm going to break you out in teams. And then we're going to come back and discuss. I'll give you another little bit. You're going to go out and apply it. Come back and we'll discuss. And so throughout the day, we're going to be learning the concepts, applying the concepts, so that by the end of the day, you have a real good feel. You're going to have a picture of your company, where it stands, and maybe have some rough ideas on how you might grow. All right? So here's the problem. The strategy problem that we have with entrepreneurship is that the market is extremely complex and it's dynamic. It changes all the time. Nothing stands still. It's also fraught with pitfalls for new growth ideas. In other words, new ideas have a hard time succeeding. Like I said, the risk goes up, the bigger the change. Let me give you an example of what I mean. Of 30,000 new business ideas last year, 3,000 are still here. Only about 10% of innovations actually succeed. Are you aware that last year there were 354 new chewing gum? 354 new chewing gums came out last year.
In the U.S. market, right?
I'm talking global. Germans don't chew gum. They probably all get, global. U.S. market, we chew a lot of gum. In fact, when you go into a store in America, there'll be a whole stand of different chewing gums. Over 350 new chewing gums came out last year. I didn't know that. Are you aware out of the $375 billion used to advertise new products, 80% of consumers cannot even name the top new products? That's amazing. Do you know what the new product was last year? The top new product was last year? The Wii gaming system. Wii? Did you get it? I bowl. I bowl because I can sit down and bowl. That's amazing to me. The failure rate is incredibly high, and why? Well, according to research, there's only two basic ways a firm can develop and retain a competitive position. And this can be illustrated by using Dell and Apple. How many of you have ordered a Dell computer over the net? Yeah. If you've got to do it just to play. Don't buy it. Just get on the web, go to Dell.com and play. Because you design your own machine. And basically what you do is you get on there, and the first thing it'll ask is how big of a screen do you want? And you start by saying, I want a big one. And then the price comes up, and then you say, I want a little one. And then it'll say, how much memory do you want? And you'll say, I want a terabyte. Price comes up, and you'll say, 80 gigabyte will be fine. And so you're continually checking price. Well, Dell competes on price. That's their value proposition. They're going to go out all over the world, and they're going to get the supply to be able to compete on price, because they know their customers are going to come, build the machine on the web, and at the end of the day, expect an inexpensive machine. Okay? So they have 61.1 billion in sales, 2.9 billion in profit, for a margin of 4.7%. Apple has a very different model. Oh, and by the way, Dell is based on Microsoft, and Microsoft's thinking is, we have a new idea. Let's put it out on the market. It doesn't work? That's okay, we'll fix it while the customer complains. And that's how Dell works. I'm sorry, that's how Microsoft works. Because you're always, that new Visio system, I don't know about you, but I want to go back to XP. But after a while, they've got it fixed, and it works great. Time for the next piece to come out. And it doesn't work real well. And so they fix it. Their idea is fast to market and fix it as we go. These guys have a very different model. Their model is based on differentiated advantage. An Apple computer is very different than a Microsoft-run Dell-type computer. You don't know their operating system. It is, and I wish you, they say it's more user-friendly. Has anybody ever used an Apple? They say, I have a daughter, but she's a Macaholic. Sorry. She's an alcoholic. No, she's not. She uses Macintosh. And she swears by it. And while I'm while I'm working on trying to get my computer to work, she's making hers dance on the laptop, and she's got movies going, and she's communicating with friends in 12 different places all at the same time. It's a different operating system. It's different, and it's protected, and nobody has it but them, and they charge. Their price is a lot higher than Dell. And people are willing to pay it because it's an Apple. And I keep telling my daughter, you could buy 2 of these for 1 of these. And she'll say, but that one can't dance. I want this one. So she gets this one. Now watch this. Only $24 billion in sales a year. $3.5 billion in profit. A 14.6% margin. Both companies have a competitive advantage. They do it on volume and cost. They do it on differentiation and value. They cut out all the costs that don't matter to the customer and only add those things that really do matter. So when I get a Dell computer and that's what I use, it works fine. These guys are paying for something they're willing to pay for. 2 different models to success. 2 different models to that advantage, that value that we're looking for. Here's the problem. Here's the problem. Inside of companies, we tend to innovate and come up with new ideas. We might do a test market, and the customers love it. Success, when we're successful, the competitors imitate us. Expectations of the customer goes up. We want it cheaper, we want it free, which makes us innovate even more. And so if we're going to be thought leaders, we have to continually innovate. If we stop here, we're in a commodity market. These guys are still wanting it cheaper. They still want higher quality. And so we're